On the surface, Edison appears to be a basic audio recording plugin. However, there's more to it than meets the eye. Naturally, it's easy to get scared seeing so many buttons on screen when opening a new plugin. In those cases, I think the advice of laxity is most effective.
I feel like you need the right attitude to actually see the potential in having like all these limited tools. I've made the craziest sounds just by using plugins in ways they're not supposed to.
Some of these features make me question why they were even implemented in the first place, but after seeing what I can do with them, I'm not complaining. I know it can be intimidating to go menu diving in an unknown plugin, but look, it's okay. Take my hand and follow me, because today I'll show you the weird and obscure features of Edison that allow you to transform your audio in ways you never knew were possible. And so without further ado, let us begin. We're doing a video about Edison today. I even made a little plan, a little outline, a little guide for the things I want to do today. What? People on Discord are weird, what the hell? Okay, let's just hop right into it. The first feature is something that I've been messing around with a lot lately, and that's this undo mix envelope, as well as spectral mode, as well as these paste mix options. I'll explain how they work now. So if we have a sound, I'll use this little generation thing to generate a little sine wave. Nice. If we then somehow change this sample, it's going to add another state into the history tab. Where is it? Here, and undo history. So as you can see, it remembers the last states. And if you, for example, change it up somehow by adding some reverb, for example. Let's use this loop tuner thing. So now we have a different sound. We can use this little button down here. And with this, you can essentially modulate between two different states. So if I keep it all the way at the bottom and then go to up here, do undo mix envelope, I can then choose which state I want this current audio to be combined with. So if I go back to this script right here, this is when I generated the original sine wave. Because I kept this envelope all the way at the bottom, it only kept the new state. But if I backtrack a bit and I sort of ramp it up like this, it is going to change over time from the new state into the old state. This is kind of difficult to describe. Let's do it like this. So it will start out up here at 100%, which is the original sound, the one I'll pick from here, the basic sine wave, and over the course of the sample it will sort of switch over to this new sound which we have right over here. So then I just click up here, undo mix envelope, and choose this position, this state. So essentially it morphed both of these two sounds together. It's a little bit difficult to hear with just sine wave. So if we drag in something, sure, and we'll take a totally different sound.
Nice.
Random 808, click this little icon down here. We will start out with this 808 sample, and then we'll change it to the previous sound like this, and then back to the 808, and then sort of keep them in the middle like this. Undo mix envelope. So as you can hear, it sort of morphed both sounds together. Something that I like doing with this method, as well as this paste mix envelope, which I'll demonstrate now, is creating custom 808s that are kind of melodic. For example, the beat I made yesterday, I took a couple existing 808s and created this thing, where I kept taking different 808 sounds and using that all-purpose envelope kind of mushed them together, as well as a little one-shot. So I guess I'll make one right now. Let's start out with something like this. We're going to Control A, select the whole thing, and then we can just do Control C, and it will copy the audio into your clipboard. Then we can select a new 808 or bass sound, but I want something interesting, something different. Something weird like this. You can click on this little scissors icon, paste mix envelope. It shows the shortcut right here, Shift Control V. Control Shift V is going to just paste the audio I had on my clipboard, the original 808, onto this current sample according to this envelope, which was at 50%, which means they're just going to be sort of equally meshed together. Basically, this whole area under the curve is when our current 808 that's in our clipboard will play. Everything that's outside of the curve is this like 808 that's currently loaded. Control Shift V. Sure, let's do something subby like this. We'll do it just so it's barely there, so it's mostly the same audio. we'll do this one. We'll make this part only come through somewhere in the middle. Maybe we can add a bit of reverb to it. There you go. Now it's quite a bit longer. Do something like that. And then Control Shift V, it's going to paste it in at the start. So now we have this thing. And just for an extra little bit of pizzazz at the end, let's add a little one shot. We can do this, but we can also, I guess, pitch it down, do a little bit of modification. Then we're going to resample that. Now we have this thing. We can right click on the audio and then copy it to our clipboard. We'll sort of fade it out more at the end. Kind of a mush between multiple 808s, but it can be cool for creating like custom sounds. I should also mess around with this spectral option here, which works basically the same way, but instead of mushing both of the undo states together, it sort of combines the frequencies of both of them together. So if you drop in a little mud pie, a little sound design slop, select the whole thing, copy it, drop in a new sound, and then we can do paste mix spectral. Now we can choose which frequencies do we want to replace with the audio that we currently have in our clipboard, which is the first sound design thing. So if we just replace the lows, youch. Let's do it the other way around. There's a lot of high end in this current sample, so I want to replace all of it with the sound that I had currently. So now both of these samples are kind of mushed together, but the high end of the sample we had just before of this sample was replaced with the sample that we copied originally from the beginning. So again, let's experiment with one shots because I feel like that is a good way to demonstrate these features. Start with something simple. Then we'll try a lower sound. Control Alt V. We will replace this time the high end. Didn't really work out because I guess most of this sound is in the low end, so you'd probably hear the change more if you replaced the low end instead. It's kind of subtle, but it has changed slightly the character of the sound. We can then take this resulting sound and add a sound that's perhaps a more interesting, something like this. I guess in the meantime I can demonstrate this next technique because it would kind of fit well for this sample, and that's using this denoise feature. So as you can see up here in the hint panel, there's a little / indicating that if you right click on it and left click on it, you can do two different things. So I can first of all select the whole sample and then right click on it. It's going to acquire the noise profile, which is usually a little small portion because you know it's for removing noise. But since I've selected the whole sample, I right click on this brush icon and I tell it that this whole sound which I have selected is noise. So then if I just left click on it, I can then sort of get this clean up noise menu where I can choose which frequencies I want to, I guess, remove. So we can do something like this, remove some of these deeper frequencies and just really ramp it up over here. As you can hear, I just kind of got rid of some of the deep end. If you mess around more with the frequencies, you can get more interesting results. Maybe we'll do the regular envelope thing this time so they're both mushed together. Let's get a bit of a brighter sound going. Something like that, and then we'll do the spectral mask thing where I will replace basically just this note with the original sample. Interesting, didn't do what I was expecting it to do. How about we invert it? That's kind of more what I was looking for. Now I want to try doing something granular with it. I want to see how far I can take this sound. So I'll use this little loop tuner, which is, I guess, meant for drum loops to sort of make them loop smoothly, but I enjoy using these features for purposes they're not intended. Then we'll use another feature, which is this little noise threshold up here. If you click and drag on it, you'll see this little green threshold appear, which basically just says that everything in this green area is noise. So then you can right click on this little icon and it's going to trim everything below that, assuming that it's noise. This time it was just this little bit, but if I select more of it, like this much, and then right click on it, it's going to remove move a lot more. I'm pretty sure there's like a trim all silence button somewhere. Trim all noise, there you go. Then we can add a bit of reverb, just to smoothen it out a bit. I guess I'll show another technique, which I was going to do later on, but I guess we're doing all of them with this sample. If you right click on this little title here, open up the sample properties, you can change the sample rate, which basically just changes the playback rate of the sample, essentially making it slower if you don't tick this resample button. So if I set it to like 8000 Hertz, it's going to be super slow. Let's do something like 34,551 Hertz exactly. Interesting. So now we can return to this noise cleanup thing. Select the whole sample, right click on it. It's going to think that this whole sample is noise. Then we're just going to left click on it. We're just going to do some random stuff. Let's just create a random sequence. Randomize all these things. Now we have some random automation going on. Oh, what the what is that? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set the sample rate to like 1 Hertz. Actually, I did that once before and FL crashed terribly. So instead, let me do like 100 Hertz. Oh, what the Yo, what turned evil? What happened? Can't hear anything, it's so slow. It's like coloring it in. I am doing things FL was not made for. Change the sample rate to something lower, like 31,000 something. I still think we have something in our clipboard, so let's use the spectral mask thing. Create a random sequence again. Okay, I'm done with this sample. Let's copy it and let's do some kind of layering with some kind of sound to get something cool. That's music, what I just described. That's pretty cool. Create a random sequence. Let's do this stereo separation as well. Just kind of random points here and there. Do some randomness with the panning as well. Looks wonderful. Looks like we're gonna have to do the spectral thing. Add a little one shot to it. Let's extract some resonances from the sample. So unnecessarily complicated what I'm doing. Resample this. I mean, that is the weirdest one shot ever. I hope this video opened your eyes to the possibilities of Edison, because you can do a lot with it if you're good, unlike me.